And our final story is from Saudi Arabia, where torrential rains have unleashed severe flooding across Jeddah. This has prompted Saudi authorities to issue a red alert. Roads turned into rivers, neighbourhoods were submerged, and emergency crews are racing to rescue those stranded. The National Centre for Meteorology reported that more than 179 millimetres of rain fell within just 6 hours. An extraordinary deluge compared with Jeddah's typical November average of just 23 millimetres and annual average of just 55.6 millimetres. The downpour caused widespread power outages, brought public transport to a halt and left traffic gridlocked across the coastal city. At least 2 fatalities have been confirmed, with civil defence teams responding to multiple distress calls throughout the day. Authorities have urged residents to stay indoors and keep away from low-lying or flood-prone areas until conditions improve. Schools and universities in Jeddah, Rabigh and Khulais have been shifted to remote learning. As a result, the Education Department has suspended in-person classes in the interest of everyone's safety. The impact of the storm extended beyond Jeddah. Weather officials issued alerts for several regions. They warned residents to avoid unnecessary movement as heavy rains, strong winds and lightning continue. Even major events were not spared. The Red Sea International Film Festival was forced into an emergency shutdown. Rain began leaking through temporary structures at the festival. Organisers instructed global attendees to shelter in place, while the US consulate cancelled a high-profile gala scheduled for later in the day.
They started closing down the outdoor bit and covering the chairs with plastic because I guess they saw the forecasts. And then they closed here in the Culture Square and said you can't leave.
Light rainfall is usually rare in Jeddah. The historic port city typically receives less than 2 inches a year, making this week's extreme weather highly unusual. According to a new assessment, Saudi Arabia is witnessing a shift in its seasonal rainfall patterns, with peak rains now moving from November to December, reflecting evolving climate behaviour across the kingdom. As emergency crews continue operations, authorities are urging residents to follow official updates closely and remain cautious amid the ongoing storms.
I was born into revolution. I inherited power like a crown. What I delivered was isolation. I built a personality cult that touched every home. Millions suffered hunger under my rule, but no one dared to speak. I ruled from palaces. My people queued for rice. I called myself the dear leader. History calls me something else, the dictator. Who am I?